You can start.
Hi guys, let's welcome Sakshi. She is a marketing advisor passionate about helping leaders find and amplify their unique voices. She advocates for mental health, stirs conversations around gender disparity, and hopes to decentralize education and opportunities. When not making a wave, she's found enjoying a nice cup of coffee. Over to you, Sakshi.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Sharm, for the wonderful introduction. I hope that everyone is doing well, and I'm super, super excited to be here to talk about the future is female, something that I can never actually stop talking about. And I think let's just get down to it. To everyone who's here, hi, I hope that you're doing well. And welcome to the ADPList BeMore Festival. It is time to be more, like very, very literally, it's time to be more. The future is female. Number one, why did I choose this topic, right? The representation of women on social media is not as we would like it to be, right? Women are killing it in the real world, but we don't see it out there on social media. I have worked with over 20 founders by now, and what I've realized is that people are afraid, especially women, are afraid to put themselves out there, to showcase what they're working on, why they're working on it, and where they plan to take it. Hence, our topic, the future is female. Content creation is literally an asset for change. I mean, it nothing could be more true than this. Social media has the power that no other technology has had yet. The power to stir interesting conversations, the power to create change, the power to inspire millions and millions of people. It's time to be more. In this session, we'll talk all about being more vocal, being more visible, and being more voracious. This session is specially for women. So, any women who are seeing this or will be seeing this, just listen to what I'm saying, understand it, and then think through it and start sharing your story online. Trust me, you will not regret it. Now, I'm not just saying this because I feel like saying this. I have proof and I can show that to you folks, right? Conversations stimulate change. This is a post by Ashley, a post that over a million, almost 5 million people saw. 5 million people thinking about why it's not it's not good to call someone a female founder. She was tired of it. Many of us are tired of it. I'm a founder and I hate being called, oh, you're a female entrepreneur. No, I'm just an entrepreneur, right? This one post made everyone think about the way that we converse with women, the way that we converse with women leaders, and the way that we present ourselves as women leaders, as women change makers, right? We are not women change makers, we are change makers. We are not women entrepreneurs, we're entrepreneurs, right? Conversations stimulate change, and that is why it's all the very more important to actually put yourself out there, to share what's going on in your head, to share what you think is wrong and what it should be like, right? That's where everything starts. Everything starts as an idea, right? And what better way to share an idea than as a story, right? Moving on, here are some really, really more examples, right? Talking about maternity leave, talking about, how you juggle business and your personal life, talking about how your grandfather wasn't allowed to sit in class, right? But now she is studying in another university, Oxford University, right? Why 12 weeks of maternity leave isn't enough. These are conversations that we need to be talking about, but we aren't, right? And these women, they dared to put themselves out there. They dared to share their stories. And what it did was it created a wave of change in thinking, change in understanding, and change in the way that we interact with each other. It's not just about, hey, this should be like a huge wave. No. Even if you are able to share your story and that changes how one person thinks or how two people interact with each other, that is enough. I have been creating content for almost 2 years now. And every time that I have shared about my mental health struggles and my struggles while building a business as a woman who comes from a tier 3 city in a developing country, people understand it. People support me and people get inspired by it. To be honest, I'm not boasting at all. I'm just saying that I have built a community of people who feel that me sharing my story has helped them in a teeny tiny way. And that itself is impact. That is power. That is change. And that's why it's so important to be more vocal, to be more visible, and to be more voracious. Right? These examples just showcase that, you know, this is what happens when you decide to dare to say something that nobody else is doing, right? And that is why I am in this field. That is why I chose content creation. Because what I realized was that you don't need to be someone who has it all together. You don't need to be someone who's a tech leader, or you don't need to be someone, who's sitting in IBM, or has graduated from Harvard to make sense to the world or to bring a certain change to the world. You can just be someone who's trying their best and feels that this is something that they want to talk about, right? And that is power. Let's get ahead, and just think about, is virality the goal? So I've shown you some examples where in your head you might be thinking, hey, is this girl talking about that my post is supposed to reach 1 million people? No. If you were hearing me closely, you would have heard that I also said, if you're able to change one person's thought process, or how one person interacts with other people, or how one person thinks about their success and journey, your work is done, my people. Virality is not the goal at all. In fact, it's just a subproduct of you putting out your story, right? By sharing your story, you can raise awareness. You can raise awareness about so many issues. One particular example that I can give you is, a lot of people on social media don't talk about crying, right? And last year, what I did was, during the pandemic, I just went out there on my LinkedIn and I shared how crying was my best coping mechanism. It took me a lot of courage to put that out there. But I did that because I felt that if I don't share it with people, I'm not showing them the full picture, right? I'm telling them that I'm doing this, that I'm doing that, that I'm killing it, right? But when I'm struggling, I'm not sharing that. And I simply shared my story of how crying has become something that has helped me be more strong. And guess what? 3, 4 men reached out to me saying that this post is one of the most powerful things that they have seen, and that as men, they cannot share it. But one person said that, Sakshi, this has inspired me, and I will continue to share my mental health journey as well. My one post triggered a person to feel more comfortable in who they are, to feel more comfortable in sharing their struggles, in understanding themselves better. I raised awareness about how mental health is something that even the best of us, even in the best of times, that we struggle with. By sharing your story, you can inspire generations. Ashley's post is going to be, it's everyone is going to continue talking about it despite the fact that it was posted months ago, right? It created a wave of change. It inspired people. Every time somebody calls someone, hey, you're a female entrepreneur. No, I'm an entrepreneur. Hey, you're a female founder. No, I'm a founder. Right. You have the power to inspire generations. Level representation, something that I started with talking about, and the reason that I'm doing this session is it's important to level representation. Why do I say this? Every Twitter space that I've been a part of, and most of the Twitter spaces that I have listened to, and I'm not just saying this from my own experience, but from other people's experience, more often than not, the ratio of men speaking and women speaking is really, really terrible. It's really, really terrible. I'll just give you a very quick example. On content creation, it was just me and 9 other men. And I have nothing against men. But what I was not able to understand was, who do I resonate to? Or who do I look up to as a woman, right? So when female content creators, right, they don't come up and they don't share their stories, what happens is that people like me who are just starting out, is that women like me who are just starting out, we feel that we don't belong. We have to increase the sense of belonging. We have to share what we are up to, right? Because we are really up to a lot of things. Like, I can go on and on, right? Leveling representation on social media has become essential. Women CTOs, women CFOs, women CEOs, right? Now, I know you must be thinking she's saying women, women, women. In this session, I have to, folks, right? Because that's how I can explain it to you. But my thought process and idea is that people of all genders should be out there on social media talking what they are doing, why they are doing it, and how they're doing it, so that other people like them, of their genders, of their of and of other genders, can get inspired and feel that they too can share their story, feel feel that they can learn something from them, right? It's really, really as simple as that. So, virality is not the goal at all. Don't think that if I'm writing on social media, I should be a hugely viral person. No, you don't have to be. All you have to be is just willing to share what are you up to, how are you doing it, and what change do you want to bring in the world. Right? It's really as simple as that. Now here are a few on the it's my left side. You can see that here are some like common myths that people, or common obstacles that people tell me, right? um, I tell them, hey, why aren't you sharing about this on social media? Like, this is such a brilliant idea that you're working on, or this is such a great campaign that you're running, or this is amazing, like it's going to change lives, right? Why aren't you talking more about this? And what they tell me is, I am too busy. Like, that's like the most common answer that comes at me. I am too busy, Sakshi. No, you only need 1 hour per week. In 1 hour, you can sit down and you can write everything that you have thought, done, ideated in that week. In 1 hour, you can create at least 3 posts for your social media. You can sit and you can write very authentically, no, fancy editing, anything like that. Just you. And people love you. People love authenticity. Perfectionism is out, folks. Realism is in. Be you. That's the simplest way that I can tell everybody. You only need 1 hour per week. Take it out from your breakfast hours, take it out from your evening snack hours, whether you're on a walk, whatever you're doing. Make it a point that I'm gonna write 3 posts, then I'm gonna schedule them, and then they can go out. Right? It's literally as simple as that. Other obstacle that people tell me is, I don't know where to start. Like, it's really very common, and it's actually a genuine obstacle, because there is so much that you could talk about, and there is so much that social media expects out of you. But at the same time, you don't have to bend down to any of those expectations. You do your own thing, right? And so I tell people that just share anecdotes from your work or your life. Yesterday, day before yesterday, I wrote a very, very honest post within 10 minutes on how traveling alone has actually changed my social and financial life. Like, it's something that I had been observing for a while, and it's something that, just totally relates to my life. And I just shared that. Countless people related to it. People understood why traveling solo, or why you don't have to be with someone to experience and explore, right? You can just hold your own and go out there in that restaurant and eat, go out, watch that movie, take that solo trip, right? Understand yourself better. It was just an anecdote from my life, and so many people resonated with it. Some people even commented saying that it's actually inspired them to go out there alone and experience, right? And that's a powerful, powerful move, right? So you don't need to have a strategic content calendar. You don't need to be 100K. You don't need to aim to go to, hey, I'm going to go to 100K followers or something like that. Start small, start simple, and you will discover your own content creation game during the way, right? The third obstacle that people tell me is, what if people think I'm trying too hard? Like, what if people think that, you know, uh, why is this person like oversharing? Or why is this person like telling so much, right? Like what is wrong with her? A lot of people are afraid to come off as cringy. I've talked to so many founders who've actually said that, Sakshi, I don't want to come off as boastful, or I don't want to come off as someone who's just like trying to show off, or is being like, too like cringy or something like that. The thing is, it's all in your head. It's all about mindset. Nobody's going to be thinking that you're being cringy or you're being too much. Instead, people want to listen to you. Everybody wants to listen to you, right? I read posts on social media, right? And I don't look at how many followers does this person have, or where does this person work. I only want to know, who are you? I want to know your authentic self, right? I'll repeat myself. Perfectionism is out, folks. Realism is in. So you're not trying too hard. You're just being yourself out there, right? And in that process, you can inspire gazillions, bazillions of people, right? Like, what if people think I'm trying too hard? No, crush this mindset. It's a bad mindset. What if you inspire them? What if you make them feel that they can conquer the world just by sharing something that you did, right? That is powerful, folks. That is the best way to create change out there. You know, the fourth obstacle that people come up often with is that I don't need to share, right? I mean, I'm doing well in my life, and that's fair. That's 100% fair. I'm not forcing you at all to go out there and, hey, do it, just do it. No, you could change lives. That is the only reason you should do it. A lot of people are not comfortable with sharing what is up to, or what they're up to, and what is going on in their life, right? And that is 100% justified. But just think that if you did share, if you did spend 1 hour per week writing 2 to 3 anecdotes from your work and your life, right? How could you change the world? Right? And when I say the world, it includes two people. Two people are just like, two people, three people, four people, five people, right? Those are worlds in themselves, right? So don't think that you have to make it super big, or that you have to create a wave, right? You just have to authentically put yourself out there. You don't have to be excessively, that, hey, this is like perfect, this is imperfect post, so I'll not post this. I don't need to share. I'm doing well. I'm earning good money, right? I'm taking care of my family. Yes, all are valid reasons. But if you could just take out 1 hour per week, just think about how much could you level the representation, right? And I'm especially saying this to women. All the women listening to this, just think that if you could spend 1 hour per week sharing about your journey, right? Some girl, young girl out there would read it and would feel that, hey, I can do it too. Or, hey, this is someone that I can reach out to and learn from. Or, this is someone that I want to be like, right? Or, this is someone who's going to support me. Or, I just resonate with this, right? That is the power of social media. That is actually the truest power social media has, right? And we see it every day around us, right? So many posts you must be reading on your feeds, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, on your YouTube, your Snapchat, right? You see these things, these videos, these insights, and these life anecdotes, these vlogs, and what do you feel? You feel inspired somewhere or the other. You feel that there's some change happening in me, right? And that is the power of a story. That is the true power ideas hold, right? I'll move on to my next slide. Now, influence is trust, right? When I'm telling you to do all these things, what I'm basically telling you is to influence other people, right? Now, right now, the world that we're living in, influence has been like a damn word. Like, don't say it, right? Like, everybody's hating on it, right? But it's not a bad word, actually. We all get influenced. All our lives are influenced. We get influenced by our parents, by our friends, by our mentors, by our clients, by our bosses, by our colleagues. Influence is there all around us, right? But the true meaning of influence is that you don't get swayed away by someone. Instead, you trust someone. So, influence is trust. First, you build trust, and only then can you influence someone. Now, what is trust? How do you build trust when you're on social media and they don't know who you really are, right? Like, we're not having a coffee chat right now, right? When you read my post, you don't know who I am, right? Like, you don't know my struggles. You don't know how how I like my coffee or what flavor of cake is my favorite. But yet, you trust me. Yet, you share your stories, your day to day lives with me, right? Tell stories. Stories build connection. The first rule to building trust is tell stories. People relate to stories. All these anecdotes that I've just told you in these past 23 minutes, you related to it because you somewhere understand where I'm coming from. You understand who I am. Through my stories and my anecdotes, I am building a connection with you, right? And that's why I did not say tell industrial facts or insights, right? I only said share anecdotes from your work and life because that is the easiest way to start creating content, actually, right? The second part is share insights and facts. Now you've established a connection. Now you have to build your credibility. Why should I listen to this person, right? Now, please note that it's okay if you just want to share stories and anecdotes. It's 100% all right. But if you are someone who also wants to put insights, industry facts, industry observations, right? Suppose you're a CTO and you've been noticing something related to hiring. This is just a hypothetical suggestion. You've been noticing something related to hiring, right? Maybe you could do a quick research, or maybe you could share the data that you have analyzed or figured out, right? Those are insights and facts. And you can easily share that. I'm not asking you to sit down, do 5 hours of research, and then put out content. No. If there are insights already in your head, which there must be if you are a professional, right? I'm a content creator and I all the time share about the industry insights that I'm seeing in the creator economy, right? Because I consume the content and I'm in that niche. So it becomes very easy for me to tell stories and also to share insights and facts and build my credibility with people. So connection plus credibility is how you build trust, right? People start listening to you, people start getting healthily influenced by you and understand you, right? That is what social media was supposed to be. Influence was not supposed to be a damn word, folks. It was supposed to be something that is healthy, something that inspires us to be better versions of ourselves. I look up to a lot of content creators who are doing good work. And the reason I look up to them is simply because they share their stories and they share industry insights. I connect with them and I know that these people are credible, right? So it's super easy to build your influence, to share your story online and inspire people, and at the end of the day, level representation. On this note, I also want to say that to all the men listening to this, right? When the session ends, spend some time thinking about who are your friends that you should text to, who are your female friends that you should text and say that, hey, maybe you should just start creating content online. Give that nudge to someone. You could really change their life. Moving on to the next slide. How to have endless ideas. So here are a few questions that can help you have endless content ideas. I wanted to give you folks this hack so that it's super easy for you to actually have a lot of content ideas. Your homework for today is maybe sit down with pen and paper, right? It's going to be weekend soon. On in the weekend, have a cup of coffee by your side, sit down and think about, what did I need to know 3 years ago? What's the story behind my mission, no matter what mission you're on? Whether you're on the mission to help people eat healthily, whether on the mission to help people use Google Docs better, whether you're building a SaaS product, whether you're leading a hire, you're hiring some people, whether you're leading a tech team, whether you're leading a marketing team, right? Just what is the story that is behind your mission, right? The third question that you can ask is, what is something I wish more people talked about in social media, but they don't, right? As a woman, for me, the crying example that I gave you earlier was I never saw anybody talking about that on social media. It was all just always business and, growth hacks and all of that. And I was tired of it. I was like, I'm struggling. And I sure as hell know that other people are struggling too. And we should be talking about this because we need to normalize this, right? And I did that. And there are so many, things that I have actually shared, and I have seen founders share, I've seen entrepreneurs share, when they sit and they think that, hey, what is something that nobody is talking about on social media but needs to? The maternity leave examples that I gave you early on fall in this category. Fourth, what's something that people are absolutely wrong about, right? So the just a little example that I was giving you earlier, how influence has now become a damned word, right? That is something that people are absolutely wrong about. People are thinking about influence in the wrong way, right? I should maybe write a post on that. This is a content idea, right? The fifth, question that can help you is, how can I scratch my curiosity and share it with the world? What are you curious about in your niche, in your industry? What is something that gets you excited? What is something that you want to know more? Scratch your own itch, and it'll help you get tons and tons and tons of more ideas. For me, I think the biggest itch that I'm scratching right now is, how can I, as a content creator, reach big content creators? How can I make them trust me? And this is a hack that I'm trying to break. Once I do that, once I scratch my curiosity, I'm going to share it online so that more and more people can utilize that hack and build better connections, right? Have endless ideas, folks. On to the next hack. Shar, I hope that you're ready. I think I'll be needing your help in this. So just okay. So I think she's I'll just read this, folks. Quick hack. Another hack, content creation ideation hack for you is that take any incident or topic that has happened to you in the week, in the last 5 years, in the 10 years, in all your life. Just take any particular incident, right? Or topic idea, break it down into what's the best thing about it, what's the worst thing about it, what's the perspective that it gave you, um, right? Just a second, I cannot see my screen. Okay. Mm, so there is a pop-up box that I have, but I can't see anything. Okay, so what's the perspective that I can give? What's something funny about it? And then there must be like, something, one more word there. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you with this is that, you know, you can take one topic, one incident, and you can actually break it down into five pieces of content ideas, right? So Sharm has actually just sent me an idea, right, which has just here. Okay, I can see it. um, I missed my connecting flight in Dubai as my first flight was massively delayed and had to spend a night in the airport sleeping on the couch. Missed my train in London as a result and spent the next day wondering about till the next available train. This is a very, particular incident, but it could be a content idea. How? What is the best thing that came out of it? I missed my flight, but it helped me explore London. So, what's the bright side about it, right? What was the worst aspect about it? Maybe you could share something like, hey, here's what not to do so that you don't miss your flight. Like the worst, take that worst aspect of it and convert it into a content lesson. Perspective. What is the perspective that missing that flight or that train gave you? Now, while you're listening to this, please don't think that every incident needs to be ringed out and be a content idea, right? Just try taking any incident and think about what is like the one thing that I can take out from this. Can I share what was the best thing about it? Can I share what was the worst thing about it? Can I share what the perspective it gave me? Can I share a learning from it? Or can I share it just as a funny incident, right? I tweet funny things all the time. Like I think one of my best tweets that I have ever written is like CEO of buying books and then never reading them. It's an incident, right? I always do that. And so many people resonated with it, right? Uh, Another example that I can give you is, a few days ago, a client actually said to me that, Sakshi, we need to actually change this writing style. This is not working. And the perspective that it gave me is that sometimes you can give your best and the other person will not agree with you. And that is okay. It doesn't mean that you're bad at what you do. It just means that writing is very, very subjective, right? And you have to build alignment of sorts. So I all the time I use this hack all the time. I love this hack. You can like feel it in my energy that I love this hack. It's brilliant. It's a masterpiece, right? Not boasting about myself, but yet giving myself a tap on the back. It's a great idea. Take any incident, take any topic, and just wring out everything that you can out of it, right? Thank you, Sharm, for sharing your incident. I hope that it was doing well. Yeah. Last but not the least, thank you for being here and listening to me and use your voice. Charm, over to you. We'll have some Q&A sessions. So, yeah, okay, I can see. Hey, Lynette, thank you for asking this question. How do you speak up in a male dominated space slash environment? I want to be given a chance to lead, but how do I take that chance? That is actually a great, great question. I think the first thing that you can do is something that is called as number one, building allies, and number two, co creating with people. Building allies in your male dominated space, find a male that you want to learn from, who you feel is someone that you kind of look up to, someone who would understand your perspective, someone who would be willing to listen to you, right? And what you can do is you can start building a connection with that person. Maybe write an email to him saying that, hey, I've been really inspired by X thing that you did on at work last week, or something like that. Just find a common connect where you can actually showcase him that you want to build a connection with him, and maybe just say, could we hop on a coffee chat, or a evening chat? I have some ideas that I wanted to run by you, and I feel that you are the best person to share this with, right? Now, what it does is that when you're building allies, you find people who begin trusting your abilities, right? And one by one, Instead of trying to take up your space in a one go, find people who can advocate for you, find people who can understand you better, who can actually go out there and be like, hey, let's listen to Lynette, she has something to say, right? The second thing is co-create with people, right? Reach out to your male dominated people, or whoever are the the males who are actually like super dominating, and be like, I have this idea, and I feel that we should work on this together. And here's why I think we should work on this together. Now, the why that you give them should always be very focused on how can you make this a win for them, right? Like, these people want to win all the time, right? So, to get into their heads, you have to use the psychology of hyping the other person up, increase their self esteem, and at the same time, show them that you are very well capable of making this a win for yourself and for them, right? Make them a part of the process, right? You want to be given a chance to lead, but how do you take that chance, right? Build genuine relationships, genuine friendships. Try reaching out one by one to people and get them invested in you, right? Showcase them how you are doing things. Another quick hack that I want to share with you is that sometimes if you do something really well in your work, right? Maybe your manager said, hey, you did this really well, or just a teammate said that you killed it. Maybe share that with other person, right? Share that with someone that you're trying to build a relationship, and be like, hey, somebody said that I did this really well, and I just want to thank you for believing in me, and these are my next steps. Showcase them what value you have. I hope that this answered your question. Thanks for asking, Lynette. um, yeah. The second question is by Akriti: how to let go of apprehensions surrounding the negative feedbacks, judgments regarding the content I am posting on LinkedIn. Okay, so this is like a really essential question. Thank you for asking, Akriti. The first thing that I want to tell you is fix your mindset, right? Um, Feedback is always up to you to take or reject, right? If someone gives you a piece of feedback which you feel that is maybe not something that you want to see, or maybe you feel that, hey, this is actually bad feedback, this doesn't apply to me at all, don't take that feedback, right? Like, don't let it come into your head, right? um, Another thing that I want to tell you is that actually build a feedback system for yourself, right? Send out polls where you ask people how they're liking your content or what they would like to see, right? Instead of thinking about what other people are saying about you, actually ask for feedback from people that you genuinely want feedback from, right? So I'll give you a quick hack. One thing that I did like very early on, and I also do, is that I found 4 friends on LinkedIn who are also creating content, right? And I started sharing my posts with them. I was like, hey, what do you think about this? Because I know that this is someone that I look up to, and this is someone whose feedback I actually value. So there are two kinds of feedback that you actually value, and feedback that is just given to you, right? So, whatever negative things people are saying, I know it's hard and I know it's easier said than done, but that feedback is up to you to take or to reject. Instead, build a better feedback mechanism from people whose feedback you would actually value, just like I did, right? There are people that I value and whose opinions I care about. So I share my posts with them, and they give me a response, and that is when I understand, okay, this is what I need to work on, and this is what this person that I actually look up to thinks about my content. It makes me feel all right. I hope this helps. Um, this is final question of the day. I really hope, Akriti, that I answered your question. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and we can chat about this in depth, right? You know, just telling you that, putting it out there. How could the industry collectively overcome gender stigmatization? Rajesh, that is a brilliant question. One thing, Rajesh, that I personally feel and what I want to share is that to actually overcome gender stigmatization, number one, men need to start supporting more women, right? Men need to start sharing more stories of women co-workers, women leaders that they look up to. I don't see men doing that as of now. It's very, very rare that a post pops up on my feed or on other people's feed where, a man has actually, given a shout out to other women who are actually killing it. People always want a reason to give shout outs, but that is not how it's supposed to be, right? If your female colleague or if a female leader in your company is not creating content, but you are and you have a massive reach, take that opportunity to hype that person up, take that opportunity to share her story, right? Second way I see this working is hype more women up to share their stories and support them. Something that happened, almost a month ago, quickly telling this incident to you, because Sharm is literally telling me that, you know um, that I can, it's time. I'm sorry, I'm going on, but just I want to give you folks this example, that is a content creator who has massive reach, a male content creator that I actually looked up to on LinkedIn. Nothing against him, not trying to spread any hate, but just giving you an example of what needs to change. Hyped up 5 men in a post, and I went ahead and commented that you talk a little bit about a woman, but you never tagged her or you never shared her story, really. Why was that? And he was like, hey, everybody supported her, everybody clapped for her, she did a really great job, and all of that. But what I couldn't wrap my head around was, why is it so difficult for this man to actually tag her in that post where 5 other brilliant male content creators are tagged? Like, why was it that big of a difficulty? And that actually made me think how less men are doing it. So, quickly saying this, that feel free to support other women. If you see a woman who's putting out great content, feel free to support her. It's essential. And women, go ahead and share your story out there. Don't think what will people think. Don't worry about anything. It's time to be more vocal, to be more visible, and to be more voracious. The future is female, folks. Thank you so much for being here. It was lovely speaking to you. Have a great day. Bye bye.